Hi there, Phil Simon from Accord Brokers. Insurance is not the greatest topic in the world, but we all have it. And I think the best way of illustrating insurance, and what I will try to convey in this video, is the very personal effect that having insurance can have at a time when it's most needed. So I'm going to go through a scenario with a client of mine recently. We'll call him Ian, but Ian calls me. He has had some problems or some discomfort in his stomach and wondered if he could claim for treatment with his health insurance. If you're listening to this, let me know in the comments if you have health insurance. So we did a discussion around making a claim on his health insurance. He had specialist and test cover, so there would be no issues in getting any procedures done by a specialist that he wanted. Unfortunately, when he did the tests, it showed up something far more serious and something that could not be immediately repaired. So my client had a comprehensive program of insurance, from health insurance through to life insurance. And this is how it played out in the claim situation. So he starts with a call about health insurance, and please let me know if you have health insurance, and let me know if you understand your health insurance. And he had the ability to have his specialist procedures covered by the policy. The tests were done and it showed a serious cancer in the bowel. So this client had trauma insurance. So on diagnosis of the cancer, we started a claim for his trauma cover, because obviously cancer is a condition that will be covered as a lump sum payout under trauma. And please let me know if you have trauma insurance. With the diagnosis of the trauma, a claim was submitted to the insurance company for the trauma cover. Now in that process, when an insurance company is assessing a trauma claim, they then get further verification from the doctor. And when those verifications came back, the insurance company rings me and says, well, yes, there is a trauma claim, but your client is going to die and has a terminal illness. So the client had life insurance. So what happens in these situations is that with a life insurance policy, or not all life insurance policies, but generally, life insurance policies have a terminal illness component. So immediately a terminal illness claim was put in place. So in a very quick succession, this client had gone from a health insurance claim to a terminal illness claim, which ultimately led to the death claim. So when you're looking at your insurance, there's a broad spectrum of covers that professional advisors will put in front of you. And sometimes it looks like it's too many, too much, and you can't really see where these things fit into your life or what could go wrong with your life. But if you've got a comprehensive insurance policy program which covers you from health assurance to life assurance, it is very important that you don't miss out all the things in between. Because short of us getting something and dying tomorrow, it doesn't happen that way. There's generally a slow decline in health over time. So what I'd like to know from you, if you're watching this, is do you have health insurance? Do you have life assurance? Do you understand it completely? Because in this client situation, yes, he had medical insurance. It was going to take care of the specialist procedures that he may have had to have at that time. He had trauma insurance, which if he'd recovered would have paid out a lump sum for the traumatic event. And traumatic it was. And then of course the terminal illness claim. And this was probably the most personal part of it for me, is watching the terminal illness claim being paid by an insurer. Because once a terminal illness has been established, the insurers do not muck around. This is paid out very, very quickly. And when I sat down with that client a few weeks later, so just picture it. My client is now got a terminal illness. And I sit on the client's bed and I say, well, how's this, what's it meant to you? And when you look at the response, and this response will live with me for a long time. And he says to me, it's been fantastic. He said, everything is tidied up for me. And that is what insurance is doing ultimately. It is tidying up things. Whether it's health insurance, contents insurance, and particularly in life assurance, it's tidying up things. For him, it meant clearing out the last of his debts, paying off his mortgage, paying off his loans. But more importantly, he was doing personal things that he could see done, which were like paying his kids' student loans, organizing renovations on his house, because he'd like to see his house in a better condition so that when it was passed on to his family, it was in a good condition. So it was very personal to him. Now this is not like how everybody would necessarily react, but what was happening at that crucial time when the client knew he was going to die, he was able to put his affairs in order in a timely manner. Not leaving it and thinking, oh well, there's a big lump sum there, they'll be okay. He was able to participate in that process so that he could see the results of what he had planned for in the unfortunate event that this was ever going to be paid. Now I'd sat down with this client not that long before, probably in the previous 6 months, to do just an annual review. We'd sat in downtown Wellington. If you know it, there's the Cuba Street fountain. We sat in front of the fountain and we just went over his contracts. And he said, yes, let's keep the medical insurance. Yes, the life insurance, the trauma insurance. It's all good. It's all good. And he obviously was comfortable with the levels of cover he had. And who would have known that when we reviewed it, in a matter of 6 to 8 months, we were going to be discussing the payout from those policies. And it was a dramatic event for him, but it's also a very dramatic event, or dramatic event for the advisor, because you can see in a very personal way the effect that life assurance and insurance products have on people's lives. And in no way was the money that was spent by this client could ever be considered a waste of time. Because when it paid out, it was the insurance company that came with the money. And it was money that helped the family put it together. The client to feel satisfied that everything he dreamt of could be put into place. Now obviously we don't really want to have a claim on our hands. I mean, we'd rather have all our insurance premiums be a complete and utter waste of money. But there are times, there are situations where you'll turn around and you'll go, I'm so glad I paid those insurance premiums. As tough as they were, and as horrendously expensive as insurance can be. And please put a comment down if you think your insurance policies are so damn expensive, you just want to get rid of the stuff. But when it comes to a claim, you'll never get a better return on your dollar. Because when situations regarding health, your income, and your well-being of your family, the cheapest dollar that will come to you and your family is those that are paid by the insurance company. Now please, I'd like to hear any comments if anyone has seen friends, acquaintances suffer a terminal illness and seen the effect that it has on people. So the story here is not about the client having a claim, but more about why insurance is so important in people's affairs and shouldn't be put to one side. And it's not something which is age specific. It's not something that just affects old people. It affects anybody, and none of us are immune to getting sick where we need to have a medical procedure done with our health insurance. And again, please tell me if your health insurance is if you have health insurance and you understand it and you're happy with it, or tell us if you don't, and you should. And your life insurance. Don't just think of your life insurance as something which pays when you get killed by a bus. It does pay before if you have a terminal illness. And in this case with this client, that was the most important thing, because he could see firsthand the effect of that payout. So that is why I do insurance. Not because I think everybody's going to die. I think everybody is just simply a peace of mind for people, and a well-structured insurance policy done by a professional advisor will make sure that when things happen that you never want to have happen, your family and you will be satisfied that your immediate family will be well protected. So thank you for listening to this, and I'd like to hear your comments, and please comment in the comments, and we can be in touch if you want to have contact. So thank you very much. It's not always the best topic to discuss, but I think it's an important one, and it's too easy to go online and bounce your figures into some computer. At Accordant Brokers, we have a very good system of online interviews. We can do video chats. We can discuss your personal situation. So it's almost as easy as tapping in your age and your date of birth, or age, smoking habits, male or female, and sticking $100,000 in the sum assured and getting a premium. Why not do a online appointment? It takes exactly the same time, and you can get some personal advice around this. So connected to this is a connection to my calendar, so you can make a have a 15-30 minute virtual coffee and you can get yourself sorted. Don't leave it to chance. That's what insurance companies are there for. They take the worry out of something that is very personal to all of us. So thank you and have a good day.